just left the campsite behind. It's called Tommerneset Camping and it's right next to the E6 where I'm riding right now. I spent the night in a small cottage which was very cozy. There was a separate service building on the side with washing facilities and a small kitchen for dining. But now I have a small problem to deal with. The gauge shows that I have only a little gas in the tank. I can get maybe 30 kilometers or less. The problem is that I have not ridden this bike on an empty tank, so I don't know how accurate the gauge is. I've sometimes done an experiment where I drive long enough to empty the tank. I had a small gas can with me, poured it into the tank and got to the gas station. That way I know the actual range. But I haven't had the time to do with this bike yet. On the other hand, the Nordic countries have a very extensive network of petrol stations, so there are plenty of places to fill up along the way. Okay, now I'm driving some distance back. I got gas in a village called Innhavet, some 15 kilometers away further north. So the problem of continuing the journey was solved. But now I'm heading back a little way in my footsteps and then turning towards my next destination, Engelöje. It's about 80 kilometers away, so I'll have another hour or so of scenery from the saddle. When I get to the same spot where I spent the night, I turn around and head west. You can see the ruins of German wartime structures at the campsite on the west side of the E6. But the best preserved site is therefore about 70 kilometers away. I'll tell you about that later when I get there. This tunnel is called the Steigen Tunnel. It's about 8 kilometers long and was made 30 years ago. It used to be the longest tunnel in the area, but now there are probably longer ones. As you can see, this tunnel has condensation water everywhere. It doesn't bother riding, but the air is quite cool and chilly inside the tunnel. Many tunnels in Norway are built to replace ferry routes. bridge is coming here, obviously. And so I arrived on the island of Engelöja. The island is about 69 square kilometers, with farmhouses and a small village cluster. The name of the island is Angel Island in English. It is located at the mouth of the Westfjorden. This large fjord leads to the town of Narvik in the northeast. On the other side of the fjord, you can see the high mountains of the Lofoten archipelago. The central location of Engelöja Island was crucial in the Second World War, when the Germans placed large coastal artillery bases to protect, among other things, their ore production. But to see the historic ruins, I had to ride to the very western edge of the island. I'm now approaching the western edge of the island. I had to ride past a few farms and the asphalt road narrowed. Now the last couple of kilometers are good gravel roads like this. You could ride a road bike here. After a couple of hours of exploring the ruins and the area, I set off towards the next stage, the city of Narvik. But I want to revisit this area sometime in the future. The ruins of Second World War are worth viewing, but it is the beauty of the area that dazzles more. I headed back inland through the beautiful coastal area. The scenery, one beautiful after the other, made me once again marvel at Norway's abundant supply of mountains and seas. What miraculous force has created and then left untouched those sharply pointed mountains that plunge straight into the sea? I've often wondered why this landscape stops when you reach the Finnish side. Just a few tens of kilometers from the border between Finland and Norway, the high points of my homeland have been blunted by the mighty forces of the Ice Age. And the mighty fells of the north are reduced to flatland, which is almost too much for the whole of Finland. The riches of my homeland are forests and lakes. The beauty of Norway lies in its mountainous northern landscape.